Have you ever wondered about Daniel chapter 7, verse 25? He shall think to change times and laws. I bet you are looking to the future for this prophecy to come to pass. But what if it already occurred in history? Let's go back in time, shall we? This video is about understanding how an empire influenced religion, how authority shifts over time, and why Scripture warns about the merging of political power with worship. Our goal is clarity, not controversy, as we examine the reshaping of faith, time, and authority. An empire was foretold in Scripture, including Daniel 7, which describes a fourth beast that is crushing, devouring, and trampling. Revelation chapter 13 also speaks of a beast from the sea with authority over nations. History shows that Rome was a political power that persecuted. It ruled by military force, enforced loyalty through emperor worship, and used laws to control belief and behavior. The core demand was Caesar is Lord, putting allegiance to Rome before all other loyalties. Believers were targeted because their real crime was refusing emperor worship. Their obedience was to Yahuwah over Caesar, demonstrating covenant allegiance. By the early 300 CE, Rome faced a crisis. Persecution had failed to kill the faith. Instead, believers multiplied and martyrdom strengthened their resolve. Rome also faced internal instability. This led to a prophetic turn, fulfilling Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. He shall think to change times and laws. Rome shifted its strategy from crushing the faith from outside to reshaping it from the inside. Constantine the Great became the turning point. As a Roman emperor from 306 to 337 CE, who rose through military power, he sought unity in a fractured empire. Before his conversion, Constantine was a devotee of Saul Evictus, the unconquered son, and held the title Pontifex Maximus, the chief pagan priest. He had a syncretistic worldview and used religion as a tool of state unity. In 313 CE, Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, which legalized Christianity, ended state persecution, and returned confiscated property. However, he did not become Torah observant or submit to apostolic authority. Constantine's political motives for this shift included needing unity across cultures, loyalty stronger than local gods, and a moral structure without rebellion. Christianity offered organization, moral authority, and a trans-ethnic identity. The fusion of power and worship merged at the Council of Nicaea in 325 CE, convened by Constantine. Unity was enforced and dissenters were exiled. Church doctrine was now decided by official councils, not only by the Bible. This created a massive foundational shift. Before, the focus was on Scripture and Torah. Afterwards, it became councils and creeds. Elders were replaced by bishops tied to the state, and covenant obedience shifted to orthodoxy defined by the empire. Sacred times were redefined through calendar change. The Sabbath shifted to Sunday, Passover to Easter, feast days were suppressed, and the biblical calendar was replaced by the imperial calendar. The shift from Sabbath to Sunday moved from biblical to imperial time. Although the biblical Sabbath was the seventh day, in 321 CE, Constantine decreed Sunday, the venerable day of the sun, as the official day of rest. Sabbath observance was gradually labeled Jewish and discouraged. Passover also shifted to Easter. In 325 CE, the Council of Nicaea fixed the resurrection observance to Sunday, apart from the biblical date. Constantine explicitly stated that Christians should not celebrate with the Jews. calendar authority shifted from scripture to empire-backed councils. The Feast of Dedication, observed by the Messiah, was replaced by Christmas. Alignment with Roman culture caused the institutionalization of December 25th as Messiah's birth by the late 4th century, replacing the winter focus of the Feast of Dedication. Other feasts faded as well, including unleavened bread, first fruit, trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and tabernacles. Biblical feast days tied to Israel's calendar were labeled Jewish and replaced or reinterpreted without their appointed times. This created a major identity shift. Followers of the Way became Christians, the Hebrew worldview shifted to Roman theology, and the covenant people became a state religion. Persecution shifted in phases. In phase 1, pagan Rome persecuted believers for disloyalty and refusing emperor worship. In phase 2, imperial Christianity persecuted those keeping the Sabbath, Passover, or the biblical calendar, charging them with Judaizing or heresy. Here is a side-by-side summary of the foundational shifts that occurred. This video is not anti-church. Scripture never condemns worship, assembly, or faith in Messiah. However, Scripture does condemn coerced worship, altar laws, state-defined holiness, and persecution of the faithful. Now for the frequently asked questions. Why should believers align themselves with the Jews of Scripture? The faith wasn't created for Jews only, but it was revealed through them. The Messiah practiced Torah and taught within it. Aligning with Scripture means aligning with the original faith, not traditions later reshaped by empire and politics. Does it really matter what Constantine and Rome believed or practiced in worship? Aren't we worshiping the same Messiah today? Yes, it matters. Rome didn't simply accept the faith, it reshaped it. When worship methods change, feast days are replaced, and Torah is dismissed, we must ask whether we are following the Messiah's way or Rome's interpretation of him. In conclusion, Daniel warned that a power would arise that would, quote, think to change times and laws. History shows that sacred time, authority, and practice were indeed reshaped under an empire. This presentation is not about condemning the past, attacking the church, or questioning sincere faith. It is about recognizing the difference between what Scripture established and what history later redefined. We encourage everyone to test these claims against Scripture, history, and primary sources. Truth does not fear examination.